Okay, so part 2 here. We've waited a few minutes to get this nice and hot to the touch again. And if you haven't caught part 1, please watch part 1 so you know what we're doing here. Lots of stickiness here. We have to be really careful about getting up top here. If it's going to let me. There we go. Wow. It's just in there really, really tight. You have to unfortunately cut through this very thick adhesive. That's because of Samsung's waterproofing adhesive. Oh, and if you guys didn't see, there's a crack right there. That's why we're doing this one. This is actually a local too in Utah. Galaxy 7 Edge one is coming up next. Very not excited about doing that one. That one's not going to be easy. I'm going to just put a little twisting power here on the iFlex. Just see if we can get this bent up a little bit. Looks like we need to cut through some adhesive. So I'm going to go ahead and take that out. And yes, this is very hot. Just make sure you don't cut the home keys. It's really important. So what I'm doing is just removing the adhesive downward so that way we can get in there. It's really stuck on. Seems like I'm having a little bit more trouble removing it this time around than last time. Okay, it looks like there's no adhesive stuck on the home button anymore here, so that's great news. So you just slip right under there. But there's still that button that we have to worry about right there. Just have to be really careful. Let's see if we can get some twisting action here. Come on, baby. Be nice to me. So I'm just ever so slightly twisting here, seeing what's giving me resistance. Looks like it's right there. It's right where the cabling is too. Interesting. And we got some resistance right here too. There we go. I'm assuming if this was really shattered, it would be even more difficult to repair. So just be cautious of that and put some thought into that. But it could be easier, but I'm assuming if it doesn't come off as in one piece, this is going to be a nightmare of a repair. And there's just gobs and gobs of adhesive here, guys. Trying to give you guys the best view. Jeez. We're going to try to reuse that adhesive. That is going to be ideal. But once again, you're not going to always be able to reuse the adhesive because you could have, some shattered screen, and that broken glass needs to be removed off the adhesive. Fortunately for me, mine was not very shattered. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put the motherboard back in, and we're going to test this before separating it. Let's remove all the business cards away. Let's get the motherboard here. We don't need to plug in every little thing, but we do need to plug in just the power button, which is right there. Don't need to plug in the charge port, just battery and power button to test this. The reason why we're testing here is because we had a failure the first time around. And plus, it's always good to test along each way, so that way you know if you do mess up, you're like, okay, I messed up there. This is what I need to do next time to resolve it. I need to be more careful with separating it. Separating is going to be obviously one of the more difficult procedures. You get past that, I think we can get past the other problem, which is just the glass separation on the actual unit. But this thing is as thick as a business card, so it could be very, very difficult. Okay, so far the cracked screen is still functioning, which is great news here. Just like last time, we were able to do it. We want to make sure the touch still works too, not just the LCD. Now, if your glass is really cracked, okay, so it looks like we're working really good here. If your glass is really cracked, then you want to use Gorilla tape to cover the whole thing, so that way it stays all intact when slicing it off. This is what I'm talking about. So you can get this at Home Depot, Lowe's. If you're out of the country, I'm sorry, I don't know where you can get it. Maybe eBay. Okay, so now that we verified that it's fully functioning, we're going to go ahead and proceed on slicing the display. Once again, use the Gorilla tape at this moment if your phone is in multiple pieces. Fortunately for me, I only have one little broken piece right there, so it's good. Come on. Lining up these holes is a challenge sometimes. Yeah, once again, this is ultra thin display here. Literally almost a business card thick, a little bit thicker. I mean, very, it's basically a business card thick. So just be really careful when slicing into this display. I always recommend going from the bottom, because the polarizer, you could slice into the polarizer, but don't get me wrong, you can still slice in the polarizer this way as well too. So just be really careful. And I'm going to go switch to wide. Thank goodness for LG for that. Won't let me press the button. Okay, so this is LG G5 wide screen. It's kind of a cool extra function here, but now we can actually get more. You can actually see how I can slice it here. So this is a really cool camera feature, and I fully intend on using more of it in the future. So after about 1 minute, where it's really hot to the touch, it's starting to burn my hand, we're going to take our Maglignic string. I buy it by the 1,000 millimeters in China, and then just a little holder here, and we're going to do a sawing motion until we get all the way up to here, and then we can rotate and slice in with the sawing motion. Okay? Now, if you don't have this stuff, that's why you have to be professional, really, because this unit minimum's $100. Mine was a lot more because I got the bigger one, but this is not thin enough to slice this. There's no way to do this repair without that string, or if you have the freezer machine, then you're fine, which is a lot easier, I think. So So now we can check real quick, make sure we didn't get under the polarizer. And it'll look different when you're slicing. So that looks fine. It doesn't look like we got under the polarizer at all. The glue's starting to separate. Perfect. If it doesn't look like that, guys, then it's something different. You're slicing under the wrong thing. The reason why I checked is because it was a little hard to slice. Usually when it's really tough to slice, you're under the polarizer. Or you're not hot enough, one of the two. Now keep your string low and then slicing motion. Don't ever lift your string up higher than the display, obviously. And if it's not obvious, hopefully it is more obvious. I gotta move something here. The longer the strokes you have, the easier it is to do. Everything keeps on getting in my way because I have such long strokes. This is really extra tough glue. Ow! Wow, that's never happened before. The string was so tight it flinged in my face and stabbed me. Wow. That kind of stung like a bee. Wonder if there's any damage. Okay. I gotta find my other tool here real quick. Okay. Keeps on losing grip here. This is what they don't show you on camera sometimes, is the frustrating experience with the string. Especially when the glue is really strong. It could be a real pain. I don't think they use LOCA anymore. I think they're using OCA. But we can use LOCA to rebond it. Make sure you keep it low. That's why there's so much tension, is because I'm holding it tight to saw it. Okay. Easily lift up. Okay, and then there's all the glue that we cut through here. Looks fine so far. Okay, let's move the machine over here. And we're going to test one more time here. Or actually, we'll test multiple times after we're done cleaning. So this is where I didn't know if it survived or if it was a cleaning that broke it. Just because this thing is so paper thin, I just thought it would be fine after slicing, so I'm not sure last time. Oh, plug in the power button. Don't know why I unplugged that last time. Okay, so looks like there's no damage yet. But look how thick that glue is. And how paper thin that is. Just insane.